Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn and today we have a special show. I say that a lot. I say I'm excited all the time, but I truly am. I truly am excited, and we have a little bit of a crowd here. We've got a few people watching in, so if I'm a little more apprehensive or looking around for acknowledgement, it's because there's some people here with me, some gracious guests who have brought a couple of bottles here. So in fact, I'll bring over what we've got to taste. So a very popular, let me get this out of here, a very popular style right now. You know, it used to be Imperial Stouts were the biggest, you know, the Dark Lords and these super over-the-top Russian Imperial Stouts. And certainly the barrel-aged ones were even kind of the cream of the crop. You know, the Bourbon County Stouts, as you know, that I am a fan of. And recently we've got these spiced stouts, the Hunahpus and the Abraxas and that sort of thing. So, and now there's the barrel-aged versions of that. So they're very much a popular style right now. For lack of a better term, I'll call them, you know, spiced stouts. But they tend to be kind of the same stout spicings seem to work pretty well. It's the, you know, chocolate, cinnamon, Mexican coffee type thing. So I brought a couple of the most highly regarded, some heavy hitters of that style. People kind of go back and forth, you know, what's the best, and obviously that's subjective, unless it's my opinion, and then it's objective, and it's the truth. I'm kidding. But so Abraxas and Hunahpu tend to be the two that people hold up higher than most others, so I wanted to put them side by side. So we've got Abraxas, we've got Coffee Abraxas, we have, it's this past year's Abraxas, we have this year's Hunahpu from Cigar City, and the double barrel version of that, just to kind of throw in. I'm guessing that will probably be an outlier. And then also a beer called Mexican Chocolate from Copper Kettle Brewing. I thought that kind of be fun to throw in a dark horse. It'd be kind of neat if it just blew every other one away. That'd be kind of interesting to see, and see how it just stacks up in a blind tasting. I'm a big fan of blind tastings. I think that they can be very revealing, because I think rare has a taste to a lot of people, and if something is very rare, it tends to taste a lot better to them. And I've in the store had blind tastings in the past where I've surprised quite a few people by what they prefer before they know what they're drinking. I think famously did Tilken versus Cantillon blind tasting, and Tilken won by a wide margin. So it's you never know until you taste it blind, kind of is what I think. So anyway, I'm going on and on. Let's just kind of go down the line. I'll give a little bit of notes on them, and then just kind of see what my favorite was. And I guess I'll try to pick out what they were as well. I'll take this and maybe write my little notes down. Okay. So I'll start here and move this way. Interesting thing about this is it's the most carbonated. It's got a little note of carbonation kind of bubbling up from the bottom. I mean, these are all totally black. I remember Hunahpu being like one of the darkest beers I've ever seen, and this one's pretty darn dark. This one has certainly a cinnamon and coffee note to it. Even the ones that don't have coffee, I'm guessing, are going to be a little bit more coffee heavy. Not necessarily, I guess. And it's also got a like an estery note, like a fruity quality to this one as well. Some chilies. I think that fruitiness was the smell of the chili. Now that I'm have tasted it, quite a bit of heat to this one. Not a huge, massive body. It's a little thinner than others. And it's tasty, but to me, I like a little bit more of that cinnamon. I really like when they taste kind of like French toasty sometimes. And this one's pretty darn hot. Not knowing what I'm tasting, I'm guessing it's gonna be this guy, but I don't know. Move on. Now, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. It looks like motor oil in a glass, which to me is appetizing, not necessarily to everyone. But yeah, I mean, this is dark. You hold it up to the light and you can't even see on the edges. It's about as dark as a beer gets. Absolutely no carbonation to it. It's got just a bigger, darker chocolate smell to it. I don't get that kind of estery, floral, fruity note from this one. Really good. This beer is really nice, big and thick and just like chewy. It's got a lot of really dark, like baking chocolate, cinnamon, almost like some vanilla flavors to it. I don't know if there's vanilla in any of, oh yeah, well, some of them have vanilla in it. So there's some vanilla as well, which to me, when you get that cinnamon and vanilla, it's when I start getting some of that like French toast with chocolate flavors, which is really good. This is nice. I'm guessing just because of the color, this is going to be Hunahpu, but I reserve final judgment till later. This one's a little bit more cinnamony, a little lighter in body. It's got a bit of like a fruity acidity to it as well, and some coffee flavors. But also that cinnamon. It's nice. It's almost a combination of these guys. It's not as quite as big and oily as this. It's got some of that fruity note. It doesn't have the same amount of heat. This one to me is a little over spiced, heat-wise, for my preference. And I do have a cold too, so I will go out there. That's a nice little way to say anything you do. I had a cold. I had one time I was doing all these and I got it totally wrong, and it was the day after we had our grand opening, and I was like, I was hungover. So I would use that as my excuse. And I did the show again and I did much better. So I'm gonna guess this is the coffee Abraxas. We'll see. This one, wow. All right, well these two are definitely the same, and I'm guessing these two are the same. Man, that's really nice. I think this is the regular Abraxas. It lacks that fruity tang from the coffee that I think is the coffee, or whatever it is, as this one. It's got the same kind of mouthfeel to it. It's a little more carbonated too, which is interesting. Super dark. Nice mix of cinnamon and dark chocolate, that kind of Mexican, like coffee, Mexican chocolate type of thing. Just a hint of heat to it. It's really hard to say which one's has more or less heat, because this one I did first and it's got so much more spice than all the others. I'm still tasting some spice, and I think it's from this one. So my guess is this is the Abraxas. And now let's look at this guy. All right, okay. So this one I believe is the Hunahpu. Man, that's really good too. A little more fruity than I had expected it to be. The mouthfeel on these two is just killer. It's just huge and thick. It doesn't have that same vanilla that this one had. Now, if this is the barrel-aged version, it's not the vanilla added. It might be the vanilla, but also the barrels and some of the vanillins from the wood that's getting pulled out of some of the char. But really nice balance of, I like the chocolate and the cinnamon, and I don't want it to be overly cinnamon, and it's really nice. Now, what do I like between these two more? Okay, I think I'm ready. I won't deliberate about it too much, but what's this one called? Mexican chocolate, barrel Huna, coffee Abraxas, Hunahpu. My favorites are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I guess we'll see. Let me just turn them over so they're in order. Mexican chocolate, double barrel Huna, Abraxas coffee, Abraxas, and Hunahpu. Wow, look at me. Look at me, everyone. You know what? It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. In a way, it was easier because there was 2 and 2, and you could see which one. Oh, this is like this, but it has coffee in it. So by process of elimination. But the interesting thing to me is I would love for these two to kind of be combined. I would love Abraxas to have that over-the-top mouthfeel of the Hunahpu. And there is someone who is conspicuously absent from this, and this is the barrel-aged Abraxas. And I know people are going to say, you didn't put that one there, that would have been your favorite. And in a way, I would have loved for like the Mexican chocolate to have been the best, like, you know, the quote-unquote easiest to get, or the shelf beer, like the Abraxas. That said, you know, the shelf beer was right up there with the double barrel Hunahpu. But you know, the added complexity, those vanilla flavors that you got from the Hunahpu really kind of put it over the top. And then I think maybe the spicing I like more on Abraxas, but just I mean, this thing is like oil. It's out of control. There's really no other beer that has the body like this than, I think, short of maybe like a Black Tuesday or a Bourbon County Stout. So interesting. Yeah, it's cool. So what we're going to do now is enjoy these beers rather than just kind of overly think and analyze them. And that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you, as always, for watching and leaving your comments and donating beer. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. And that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. But until next time, I've got some great spiced stouts to drink, and hopefully you do too. And come over to the store today, and then you certainly will. We'll taste them out with you guys as well. Thanks, guys. Cheers. All right, all done.
Awesome, man. That was fun to watch.